And that's right. We are back for another
Oh
episode
shit.
of the Real Lil Show, and we are live and ready to go. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel because it's going down on this beloved episode that we have here today. And we have a stack show. I got my guest came back, my guy Price in the building. I also got Lee Jones that's going to be joining us halfway through the show. So we are stacked and ready to go with a loaded, explosive episode. We will get my guy Lee and my guy Price together on one show. So tune in for that. Our guy Lee is joining us in about 10 minutes. So Price, I'm glad to have you back on. I know you're going to give it to us raw. This is the Real Little Show. So that's what we do here on this show anyway. So I'm glad to get your perspective on these topics. Price, what's the word, man? How you feeling?
Hey, my guy, I didn't even know I was live already. I'm like, oh shit. Yo,
Yeah,
I
bro.
appreciate you, bro. It's been a minute. Man, I really appreciate you bringing me back, bro.
Nah,
It's
definitely, man.
always a pleasure for sure. You feel me?
Nah, definitely, man. It's always good having you on, bro, because I can't deal with the nonsense, bro. Nah, I mean, all the
Nah, I
nonsense
can't
that's
even.
going on in the world, I need people that think like me, around me. Nah, I mean, like, granted, I don't mind debating. I don't mind waking up sleep people. But sometimes you just need people that know what's going on and have a grown conversation. Know what
Hey,
I
can I
mean?
be honest with you? I don't debate. I don't like debating nobody. Because at the end of the day, we debating. You still gonna be a stupid ass person, and I'm still gonna be my smart, sexy self. So, hey, y'all, and chat, don't worry about this. I'm trying to figure this out. Don't worry about that. But I don't like debating, bro,
Yeah,
because
I
at the
feel
end of
you.
the day, what are we accomplishing? I like if we gonna have a conversation, let's come up with a solution. Most people I do quote unquote debate, we're not coming up with a solution. So I don't like debating because most people gonna be stuck in their ways.
No, that's real. And wherever
Yeah.
you are in the political spectrum is probably where you're gonna end up. Now I mean until Bill
Yeah.
Gates pack you out of here. Now I mean, we'll talk.
Or make you eat the bugs.
Yeah, literally, right? Now Price, I want to get right into it, man. I want to get right into these topics
Oh
here.
yeah.
One of the topics that's taking over media right now is this Lindsay case. And obviously,
Hmm.
for those of y'all who are watching that don't know what's going on with this, I'm just going to give a little backstory here. She is on trial for strangling her three children, a 5-year old, a 3-year old, and an 8-month-year old with a exercise ban at their home in Boston in 2023. Now, this has sparked a lot of controversy as we have a lot of women, white liberal women, that's out here supporting this woman. Mind you, Price, you look at her eyes. I mean, this looked like the exorcism of Emily Rose. If you ever
Yeah,
saw that
dude.
movie,
Yeah,
she
dude.
looked just like her. Okay,
Crazy bitch.
crazy. Now, I mean, satanic world that we live in. I want to know your thoughts on where we are as a fallen state of this country, and what do you see from these liberal women that what do you see from them, and where do you think we are right now?
All right, listen. They was blaming this shit on what's it called? Postpartum?
Yep.
Shit like that. I know plenty of mothers with postpartum and they did not strangle their kids. And I'm like, how are y'all really? These are the people that side with abortion, by the way, people.
Hmm.
These are the people that want children unalived anyway. For this lady, and I just looked this up, Lindsay Clancy, to raise up almost $1 million, if it's not more by now. This is when I last checked. Y'all are sick. This lady strangled how many? Not one, not two,
Like LeBron, not one, not two,
not
not
two.
three. Come on. Huh?
Come on now. Look at her fucking face. That look like,
Demon.
yo, if anybody keep up with like not even Emily Rose, the exorcism of Emily Rose, Insidious and those things, she don't look like the insidious creature.
Yeah,
But the strangle, y'all need to forgive Chris Benoit then.
yeah.
Y'all need
Right.
to
Yes,
y'all need to
yeah,
forgive Chris
that's a
Benoit.
very interesting point, but it's valid, right? If we're gonna go there,
Yeah, it's valid.
if we're
Let's
gonna
go
go there,
there.
yeah, yeah, that's a
Tell them,
fair point to bring up.
hey yo, tell them, let's go
This
there.
we talking
I
about
go
a
there with all of
guy,
them.
not to defend what he did, but we talking about a guy who literally with that headbutt move, probably has CTE.
But they don't, I just can't believe these liberal people, liberal women, are really like standing with somebody who unalived three children. Bro, at the end of the day, mothers, even fathers, deal with a lot with these kids. I never once in my life thought about strangling my child. Never in my life. Would what would Jesus do, right? Would Jesus have strangled his child, or would he had the patience and trained up his child in the way that they're supposed to go?
Yep.
So there's no fucking excuse. I don't believe in excuses. So at the end of the day, this is a bitch that murdered her children.
And you know what's funny? Well, not funny, but you know what's crazy? The fact
Yeah,
that whether or not we don't know the reason. I believe that a lot of these women are sick and there's no reason. I believe that there's
it's no
women,
reason.
and I'm not talking about, the woman that slept with Tom, Dick, and Harry and on accident and wanted to get an abortion. There's some women that do it for a sport. Just like how these people are playing NFL, WNBA, and basketball. These people, these women, a lot of them are aborting babies as a
Yeah,
sport.
Bonnie Blue, not with the abortion thing, but the sleeping with endless fucking men for no
Yeah.
reason. Come on, man. We live in a time period where a certain higher up conglomerate, uh, AIDS, herpes, chlamydia, syphilis, gonorrhea, all these things. Why are you doing this? But let me say this, right? She unalived three children. It's three, right?
Yep. Three. Yep.
There's no fucking excuse. And I saw something online that say, well, she heard voices in her head. That's called schizophrenia, people. It's called schizophrenia. That means schizophrenia don't just pop up. It don't just pop up. That means she should have been checked. And this, hey, yo, men, all the men that's on here right now, in this chat right now, know the bitch that you're sleeping
Yep.
with. And make sure
Yep.
that bitch is not a bitch. Make sure that bitch is a woman. This
And
is
make
why I
sure,
believe.
and I really want to be careful here, right? Because
I'm sorry.
I have liberal people. No, 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 not you, but what I'm about to say. Okay, I
Okay,
want to be
okay,
careful
yeah.
with what I'm about to say
All
because
right,
I do
bet.
have liberal people in my family, right?
Hmm.
I don't make the rules, and I mean, you see politics the way you see it. I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
obviously force my politics on them, but I have people, sisters, that may be liberal women or whatever. They may not be hardcore. I don't think they're hardcore liberal, but I believe that I don't think there's no in between, really. I mean, you try to play the political spectrum and try to walk that tight rope. It's going to be a hard thing to do in this political climate. But with that being said, there are people, there are husbands that literally were engaged as this was going on, and they realized their fiance was supporting this woman, and they called the wedding off. And I think men have
Mm.
to do a better job of vetting women. All right, forget
Yeah.
about
Hell
how
yeah. Fuck yeah.
Becky with
Hell
the
yeah.
good hair look. How does she think politically? Is she in favor of how many abortions she had? Because that's a pretty good indication of the type of woman you messing around with.
Can
So
I cut
instead
you
of
off real
you,
quick?
it should never
Let me
get
cut.
to the point where you have to call a wedding off. You should already know how this woman think. Go ahead, the
Let me
mic is
cut you off. Let me cut you off real quick. That works both ways because you might have a conservative woman that's dealing with a liberal man, and she need to
same
cut his
thing.
ass off too. Especially if you, as a woman, if you over there, if you're able to berate your man, emasculate your man, and feminize your man, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? If you can't stand as a man, if you ladies, if your man can't stand as a man and be an alpha man and put you in your fucking place, you're not a man. And ladies, I mean men, excuse me, men, if you have a woman that actually sides with this, yeah, cut them off. Yeah, cut that marriage off because
Ask them. Ask them.
she'll take your child. Hey, you said ask them
Ask them. Like, every guy watching this video or watching this case should literally ask their woman tonight. Homework. Ask
right
your
now.
woman, what do
Homework.
you think about Lindsay Clancy and what's going on? Do you support her? And if that woman tell you I support that woman, end the relationship. Call
In
it
that
off.
shit. In that shit. Charlie Kirk said it best. We need to, in a relationship, we need to agree politically too. You remember the Bible says it's better to sleep on a roof of a house than be inside the house with a quarrelsome wife.
Yep.
If ask her if she cannot agree with you that children should not be unalive, whether it's abortion or whether it's this pathetic shit that's happened, lead a bitch. Point blank period. Real shit.
Yeah, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, you mentioned a good point about men being leaders in the household. And
Yeah.
obviously, there was a point in time where women had to follow the men lead. That's how the world was constructed. In order to
Yeah.
vote, you had to literally have the same vote as the guy in the household because
Yeah.
he led you in a direction. And that's how things used to be. Now we live in this women's liberated society now, in
It's
which
a
obviously,
matriarchy.
yeah, exactly. And to me, that has tipped the balance of society on its head, and not for the good reasoning. I mean, look at the communities, look at the schools, look at the schools. Like, there's so many times I scroll, not because I want to see it or that's the content that I want to consume, but I see, children fighting teachers in the classroom. We are raising some of the worst human beings of all times.
Do
Okay.
you want to do you want to talk about this on this podcast, or should we do another one? I get deep into that, bro.
No, I mean, I think it's
I
connected.
get
I
deep
think
into
it's
that.
connected
Okay,
to
so a
where we are.
matriarchal household it's a societal fail. Society's going to fail when the mother is the fucking lead. Just being honest with you, and I'm talking out of passion. So excuse my language, people.
There's stats to back that up. Look at the single
With
mother
stats,
household.
yes, the mother will sit there and tell you, "Go take a nap, baby. Don't do your homework. Go take a nap. Don't go to the gym. Don't work out. Don't pursue your dreams." And I deal with that personally. Like I be on the phone, mom, be like, man, I don't feel like going to the gym. Then don't go. As a
Mhm.
man, whatever I feel don't matter. Nah,
Exactly.
go to the motherfucking gym.
Yeah.
So with the matriarchal household, they're gonna baby these kids into fucking doomsday. And that's why we see what we got. The YNs, I'm pretty sure, and I did this personally, right? Because that's what I do in real life. I was in Arizona at Amfest. I went to a group of six kids, six YNs, it's YNs as y'all like to say. And I went up to them. I told them about gang violence, gun violence, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know what? At the end of it, I said, how many of y'all have a father in the household and how many of y'all only have a mother? One of those kids said, I'm the only one with a father in the household, basically, essentially, is what I'm saying. One. One, because a mother is going to teach you how to be emotionally unstable. They can't teach you to regulate your emotions. They can't teach you to be like, this isn't worth it. Guess what? Because the woman is a emotional thinker. The man is a logical, analytical thinker.
There
And
we
if you
go.
don't have a strong man in your house, not just a father, because I got into it with somebody before, and I said, you can have a father in the household as a piece of shit. He's a feminine piece of shit. If you don't have a strong masculine father in the household that could lay down rules and really put you in your place, you're fucked. And that's what we're seeing right now. That's what we're seeing right now.
And I wonder, I mean, I haven't really dived into the specific of where was the father in this whole entire case and if he was involved or not. But
Yeah.
there's no way it should get to that level with the woman that you are with if you didn't properly vet her. Okay, this right here, whoever gave this woman 3 kids did not properly vet this woman when they had these kids with her, and
All
that's
of them
why
was
their
the
kids,
same.
unfortunately, God rest their soul, are not here anymore.
All of them
All
was
right,
by the same person.
I believe that I gotta look up. That's a good question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's three
Yeah.
fails.
Yeah.
You know, and you have decent people unfortunately getting struck by lightning. I don't know if you heard about that story in Florida. A
Yeah. Yeah.
black
I heard it.
family. It's just crazy. You so many ways that you could get put up out of here, and your own mother put you down. I mean, like I
Your
said,
own fucking mother, bruh.
we got to do a better job. And both ways. I like how you put it. Both ways, man, woman, whatever. We got to do a better job of properly
Yeah.
vetting who we are having children with. Okay, I
Yeah. Because
understand everybody want to have fun. Wee. I get it. I get it.
don't tell these
Okay.
black hoes that black
Oh no.
hoes. I'm a very honest person. Black hoes just want to have fun. They out
Oh,
here talking about some we outside and we shaking ass and all that.
yeah,
Nah.
304, spend that money fast and all that. This is
I'm sorry.
where
I don't
this
know
is
what I
what
can say
children is
over here,
being
bro.
raised
So
into.
yo, listen, if I say something that's out of pocket, like yo, say this. Please do that.
No, it's true. It's true. And
It's
this
true.
is the reason why you look at the children, you look at these schools, teachers are quitting like it's left and right. because they like, listen, these parents are dropping up these kids off to school, not training them, not raising them. All right, they learning how to daggone potty at school. All right, like they're not doing anything, and all they want to do is have fun, party, smoke. And obviously, I'm not talking about all women, right? There's some women that are legitimate women that raise good men, even if they have to raise them alone.
That's why you gotta classify them differently. You have women, chat, you have women, you have bitches, you have hoes. It's a difference between all three of them.
I agree. I
It's a
agree.
difference. So
And this right here that I'm looking at
I can't call every
ain't no
black
woman.
female or any I can't call every female a woman. I can't do that because some of y'all bitches. And that's just the real of it. And a lot of people don't want to hear that truth because the truth pill is hard to swallow. It's a horse pill.
And my last point, as I got
Feel
my
me?
guy Lee in the background here, so we're gonna let Lee come on, and we about to switch and
All right,
pivot to
let's
the
go.
WNBA. But my last point on this is back when that Casey Anthony case happened a couple years ago, or years ago, a while back, long time ago.
Oh, I
It was
remember
very
that. Yeah.
unpopular. It was very unpopular. She didn't. I don't believe she had the support that this woman has right now. It goes to
Yeah.
show you where how far we have gotten in this country, where women could actually support a stone cold murderer of her children. That's a
It's
microcosm
it-
of
it's,
where we
it's
are right now.
ridiculous. And even in that community, even in the black community, we watched that. I don't know if we want to get deep into it. We watched that with Carmela Anthony.
Yep,
And if you want to do that on another top show on that,
yeah,
we can.
we
I got a lot to
definitely
say
can.
about that.
I got time. I got time,
I
my
got a
brother.
lot to say about that, bro. I
I
really do.
got time. We'll definitely touch on that. I
All
definitely
right,
got
bet.
time. But yeah, we're about to pivot, and I'm gonna bring my guy Lee Jones onto the show. He needs no introduction. What's going on, my guy?
What's happening? What's happening, man?
I'm happy to have you on, man. I'm looking to spice things up now. My guy Price is in the building. He doesn't hold back no punches. My guy Lee's in the building. We know he ain't scared to stand his ground. It's going down. We are going to move on to the WNBA topic.
What's up,
Um,
Lee?
What's happening, man? What's happening?
I can't complain, bro.
and we here, man. We here. So we'll definitely
Yeah.
chop it up, in the break room after. But I want to make sense of this WNBA Enes Kanter freedom controversy over trans athletes. And I'm gonna play a clip from the game a couple days ago in which there was an altercation on the court. I'm gonna play that and then we're gonna take it from there. So let's run it.
All right, say look.
So basically there's no volume here, so I'll just narrate. All right, you have Natasha Cloud, who was in the middle of a game, and she
I'm gonna
went
let you know we
and
can't
charged
see.
that. What you said?
I don't see nothing on the screen. Oh, there we go. All right, bet.
Yeah, so she went and charged that Enes Kanter because Enes Kanter has been very vocal about his disposition when it comes to trans athletes in women's sports. He's an advocate for he's an advocate against it, just like Royce White and company as well. And this woman took it upon herself to interrupt her game to charge at him and have that altercation. So Lee, I want to get you warmed up here first, and then I want to get my guy Price thoughts after. So Lee, let's make sense of this, man. What is your take on that altercation and where we are in regards to this topic in the WNBA?
Yeah, we've talked about this before, Leo. So I'll reiterate what my position is on it. Look, for me, it's two separate things with Enos Cantor. This man has been a vocal. Again, for me, he's trying to get his 15 minutes of fame. He's made the talk show circuit and sit and talk about it. And then he purchased this shirt, bought a ticket to the game, not to enjoy the game, but to make a point. Right? He made to make a point, and you see what's on his T-shirt. Now, again, the whole premise of what's going on here is the question was asked about trans athletes playing in the WNBA, and Cantor and Royce White both started to say that they're trans now and they want to be in the league. There's a conversation to be had, personally, and I'll give you my personal thoughts. I think, men should play in men's sports and women should play in women's sports. But there is a an alternative out there for people wanting to know if a trans athlete wanted to play in the WNBA, what would that narrative be? And they've asked a lot of the players, and the players are predominantly supportive of all people being inclusive. Now, that's not me, but for this particular situation, Kanter is making a mockery of this, in my opinion. He's making a mockery of the situation. The WNBA missed the boat when they didn't clarify within their regulation in the WNBA. Right, their bylaws don't state it. They just state that anyone can be eligible to come in that have graduated 4 years from their high school graduating date. They could. What happened? Can you still hear me, Leo?
Yep, you good.
Okay, 4 years from their graduating date. So they never clarified what and who could come in the league. So Kanter and Royce White took it upon themselves to say they're transgender, making a mockery of the whole thing, right? And so at this game, I was actually watching this game when it's happened, right? He stood up, flexed his shirt. She had just made a bucket and was running down, and she saw it, and, they've already had words. And so that's the premise of it. Look, there's a conversation to be had about this subject. The WNBA and the NBA, they're a management team together. They need to clarify who and what should be in this league, right? They should clarify who can be drafted. What does a woman mean as far as being in the league? That should happen. And I think they're working towards that. But this incident is someone who is here on a work visa, right? So, he's on slippery slope trying to get his 15 minutes of fame, and I'm against that. I'm totally against that because it's not authentic about the situation that's going on. So for me, there's two different things at play here. One is who should be in the league. They need to clarify that. For me, Kanter is a non-factor to me because I don't think it's authentic what he's doing. He bought a ticket. He stood outside the arena to get the crowd riled up prior to the game. He grandstand during the game. This is not genuine dialogue. This is a person that is trying to, once he couldn't play in the NBA anymore, to get his 15 minutes of fame. That's where I stand on it.
Price, I'll let you respond and jump right in there, man.
Man.
Price, I think you went out there. My guy Price went blackout. I'm gonna let my guy Price get back in here. Obviously technical issues that happens from time to time. So Price, I'll jump in and let you get situated there. It seems like he's loading. All right. Price, you there?
Am I back yet? Y'all can hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now. You right back.
I'm trying to get y'all I'm trying to what's the name? Hold on, y'all. Because I can't hear y'all. Lil, say something.
What's up, man? You get me?
I'm so damn it, man. Can y'all hear me?
Well, yeah, I can hear y'all.
I can't hear y'all. This shit crazy. Hold on.
All right,
even though I can't hear y'all, I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna speak what I got to say. There's nothing to discuss about that, bro. Because if you're a woman, you go to the WNBA. If you're a man, you go to the NBA. Angel Reese, she can't play, and she's from where I'm from. She can't play in the NBA with LeBron James and them. She can't. So if the trans people, if they feel so strongly about all this, make a TNBA where y'all could go cut penises off and have inflatable penises, whatever y'all got going on. I don't know. I'm not with none of that. Y'all go handle that how y'all finna handle that. And y'all make a whole league called the TNBA, the Trans National Basketball Association. You could do that. It's cool. Whether y'all get viewers on that, I don't know. But the guy, I don't know his name. And he may not be doing that for his 15 minutes of fame. I made a video about that recently. It's not for 15 minutes of fame. I've been talking about the same shit for a long time. I have a daughter, and I'd be goddamned if men or boys in her instance are playing sports with her. I'd be damned if my daughter is playing, she wants to play basketball, right? And it's 12th grade boys dunking on my daughter. Hell nah. I'm about to jump in that motherfucking WNBA. If that's the case, I'm jumping in the WNBA. I got me a motherfucking wig. I ain't gonna put it on my head. I'm gonna put it on the basketball, and I'm dunking these fucking basketballs in Angel Reese's face. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't playing about that shit. Yeah, hell nah. Man, we rocking. We rocking. We rocking. That's how we going. I'm not about to sit here and let nobody say, "Oh, men should be in women's sports." Cheryl Reeves, who one of the people who started this shit, need to know what the fuck going on. She trying to be all inclusive. Maybe she wants her 15 minutes of fame. Fuck her and her fame. The hell? Because soon somebody dunks some nuts on somebody, some balls on somebody's face. Now she crying. It ain't fair. Hey, Angel Reese, if you ever see this video, play me 101. I'm dunking on your tall ass. Me and you the same height.
Look,
And I'm trying to get the what's the name back? The sound back. Do I need to hey yo Lil, shake your head because I can't hear y'all. Do like this. Do I need to drop down and come back? Because I can't hear nothing.
Yep. Drop down.
I bet.
yeah.
Lee, I know you look disgusted over
I'll be
there.
right back. I'll be right back.
It is what it is.
For me, that's a bit remedial, Leo.
Wait.
You know,
Look, let me
for
do
me
my
anyway, that's
thing
a
here.
bit remedial. I don't. You know, you gotta come better than that because you know the WNBA is a business. You know, we're not talking about somebody playing on the street, playing ball in the park. We're talking about a business and what
I'm
their
back.
bylaws.
Yo, you
That's
hear
why
us?
I came on.
Yeah,
But
I can hear.
it's
I can hear.
about the nature. It's about the nature of the business and the sport. And you know, this guy, I know Enes Kanter. I followed his career. You know, he was the Turkish government was trying to assassinate him for a while.
Damn.
He sought asylum over in the United States, and then he starts to do this foolishness. If I thought he was genuine, that's one thing because there is a conversation to be had. Absolutely, I think, and I don't begrudge anybody for their personal feelings about that. But the dialogue needs to be had in a way that you look at all of the different nuances of a league, a professional league of women, and it has to be discussed from that perspective. Because anybody can say, you know, what they're going to do and what they would do. I'm more about the business side of it and how we approach it. That's what.
But how is it a nuance? You either have a penis or a vagina. Where's the nuance in that?
There we go.
That we're
There
not
we
talking
go.
about. But you have to take it in context of a league that has shareholders, that has a board of governors, that has bylaws. You just can't say it's about a penis or a vagina because it's deeper than that. See, on the surface, you can say that because a lot of people look at things on the surface, but it's big. It's much deeper than that. That's why I say we're not playing outside at the park. We're playing in arenas with millions and millions of dollars at stake. That's a totally different argument. That's what
Lee,
It's a WNBA. I'm gonna say a couple thousand. It's a WNBA.
let me jump in here.
The WNBA.
Let me jump in here.
WNBA made $75 million.
Let me jump in here so I can get my point across so people can understand where I'm coming from here. Because I understand where Price is coming from because he's speaking from a logical perspective. You can't go against logically. Now I understand where your point about the business aspect is, even though I disagree with it. I understand your business side of it. Sometimes you know, when you are a corporation, you have to really dumb down your product to, you know, not turn off people and all that. So I get that part of it too. So one is talking logic, other is talking business. Let me kind of like get in here so people could understand where I'm coming from. Because the WNBA, right? When you look at them as a league right now, they're becoming laughable, Lee. And I just got to be honest with you. They are self-sabotaging their league because they cannot answer a simple question. What is a woman? They can't even answer that. They had a whole meeting for probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours, left that meeting with no clear definition on what a woman is. That's a clown show, Lee. And it's taken away.
Self-sabotage.
No, nobody opened the dictionary.
You want a sport, and you want the consumers to take it seriously. You want the consumers to talk about the sport from a basketball standpoint. And here you have this Here
Can
you
I
have
ask-
this girl, Lee, and
don't want-
Natasha Cloud. She's
don't wanna
interrupting her
interrupt you.
game, right? She's interrupting her game to go out there and go at Enes Kanter or whatever to antagonize him, right? As he was standing up for women's sports this whole entire time. Mind you, you had Caitlin Clark, who's the face of the league, had a massive night, right? A massive night that same night. And guess what we was talking about with the media? This subject here, taken away from the game. Angel Reese just had 26 rebounds last night. Guess what? We talk about this pointless altercation all over sports talk. So again, it's taken away from the sport that they want us to take seriously because we are talking about what a woman is and if they can play in the sport.
Leo.
That's a problem, Lee.
But you make a point that it's making it a clown show. All-time revenues, all-time viewership, all-time.
Yeah, that was because Caitlin Clark
Hold on.
and Angel Reese.
All-time attendance. How is it a clown show? That's a ridiculous point because the
Shit.
Just because people attend the
Circus
game
has got a
doesn't
nice
make it not clown
nice
show.
audience.
Look,
What are you talking about?
Look. The numbers for you, it might be a clown show, but the numbers don't support what you're saying.
I mean, numbers don't dictate what is a clown show or not.
You and Price
don't.
would have
Do
whatever.
people go see the Circus, Lee?
you
Do
and
people
Pri-
go see Circus Soleil? Wasn't
Look,
Circus
Soleil, yeah.
had shows out there, Lee?
That's what I'm saying. Circuses have nice numbers. What are you talking about? It's a
you
clown
guys,
show.
it's a circus. To other people, it's not. Y'all,
Don't people go see dolphins? You know,
Circus.
you know what I mean?
Your opinion. You guys certainly can have your opinion. Your opinion is in the minority because the facts don't support it. But you can have your opinion.
Yes, it do.
You can have your opinions. Now, let me ask both of you something. There's a young lady in, I think it's in North Carolina. She's the starting quarterback for the varsity football team, and she plays linebacker for the varsity football team. She shouldn't be playing?
Not in no men's sport. She could play in her sport.
Hell
It's
nah.
the boys' football team. She's the
Hey,
starting
man, get off.
quarterback.
Get out.
She
Hell
should.
nah.
That's right.
Get out of there.
Try to go pro. Try to go pro.
But Liam, we're not
Let's see
talking
what
about
happens.
her.
I'm
going
gonna
pro.
say no. She shouldn't be playing on that. Make your own sport.
No,
They
why
go
should she be playing?
go make
Why should
another
she be playing? Why
NFL.
she's
They got a
capable of
WNBA. Why is
playing?
there no WNFL?
What?
Because if
Nobody's-
somebody hit her hard enough, she gonna be crying.
Well, she plays
Ain't
linebacker. bro.
nobody gonna be watching no
Right.
W.
She plays linebacker. She's
That was-
hitting people. She plays linebacker. She's hitting people. So what I'm saying
Linebackers
is,
still get their ass popped too.
she's playing linebacker. She's doing more hitting than receiving the hit, right? So what I'm trying to say is, as I said, there are nuances to this. There's nuances to what I'm talking about. That young lady shouldn't be allowed to play on the varsity football team if
No.
she's the best quarterback out there. Give me a break.
Nah, go start your own league. The school
Stop
should
it.
start their own league.
Listen.
Why
Hell
do
nah.
you have to
Because
start
while
your
she
own
playing, she's not gonna go to the NFL.
Maybe she don't want to go to the NFL. Why does she have to go to the
She
NFL?
never do.
Well, maybe she need to go do
Maybe she don't
ballerina.
wanna go. Maybe she
Hell,
just
she
want to
doing.
play high school
Hell, she
football.
doing playing with men. What is she?
Anyway.
Is she a
Because
trans?
she's capable of playing with men.
No, you see the
Well,
problem.
start their
Lee,
own.
Lee,
Start
this
their
is the
own
problem.
No, you don't
junior
have to start
varsity
your own
females
development.
division or
That's
something.
ridiculous.
There's
That
nothing
ain't
more
ridiculous.
to this conversation than the obvious. These people, I don't know what to call them. I don't even know what to call them. A man, woman. Well, listen, I have a hard time sometimes. Sometimes I see people in public, and I don't know if I should give them a dap, if I should ear hug. I listen. It's hard for me these days to greet people. I'm just keeping it a bean. But these people, whatever, I guess, women or men,
I fist bump everybody, bro.
women's sports, they only doing that for a competitive advantage. That's why you have no woman trying to make the NFL because they know they ain't gonna last.
Yeah, when's the first trans NFL player at?
Why?
The first female to male
Why
NFL
don't
player.
you
I need to
go
see
the
that.
NFL. Look. The NFL represents the top 1% of all college athletes. A woman doesn't have to play in the NFL. That's
She needs
not
to.
the issue. You guys
She go tell her go be trans and play in the NFL. What she talking about? It's the same thing.
You guys are missing the whole point. It's
Do you?
ridiculous.
No, it's not the whole point. Because if there's what I'm saying here is that they want to get a competitive advantage. That's why the conversation exists. Because there's no woman that's trying to get into men's sports. Not in UFC, not in NBA, not in NFL. It's unheard of. But with the WNBA, Again, that's why we protect the women here. That's why the conversation is to protect women. They want to be able to get a competitive advantage over women. We are protecting you. And the fact that this chick is going to stop her game, stop her flow, just made a bucket to look at somebody wearing a shirt and charge him because she didn't like her take. That's the problem. We saving y'all from yourselves. Y'all taking away from your game. Y'all taking away from your game. And you know what's unfortunately? You know what's unfortunate? Sophie Cunningham is probably going to get blackballed from the league. And she's a quality role player.
No, she's not. No,
she's a quality role player. Guess what, Lee? It happens all the time. It happened to Kyrie Irving almost.
No, she's not.
It happened to Kyrie.
It basically did. It basically did happen to Kyrie Irving.
No, I mean, Kyrie Irving was out of the league. He was about to be out of the league. So it's going to happen to her. Because guess what? If the WNBA can remove fans for wearing XX and XY shirts and tell them to go home and remove them, and then they can remove Enes Kanter and then ban him from that particular team in that court, then what makes you think they're not going to ban Sophie Cunningham?
They removed Enes Kanter. First of all, they were wrong for banning, removing the lady with the XX and XY chromosome. They admitted that. They should have been allowed to stay, and I agree with that. They should have been allowed to stay. Enes Kanter was making a spectacle of it. They
taking a side, Lee. That's what it is. They're taking a side.
Hey, question. In high school basketball, right? You have the females basketball team and the women's and the male basketball team, right? You will allow a man who just he of course as a teen, I would hope he's not fully chopped up. And he decided to play for the women's team. He got the shorts, he got the high shorts, balls hanging through his shorts, and he playing basketball with the women. He's 6'8", and the women are usually what at the most for women's sports, maybe 6'3". You would allow that? You would like that?
No, I wouldn't. But that doesn't mean that I wouldn't allow a female to play on the.
I mean, look.
Oh, God, they're frozen for a reason.
I mean, look. Genetically, men and women cannot be on the same plateau. If you watch that clip and you see this woman charge Enes Kanter, if they were to get into a UFC ring, I wouldn't even want to know how that go.
Angel Fox, bro. Look up Angel Fox.
I wouldn't even want to know how that go if they would have get in a UFC ring. So she's acting like she about to fight, dude. If they would have gotten the UFC ring, if everybody said, hold up, let's stop the game, let's throw on the UFC ring here and let them two duke it out, we know what's going to happen.
Bro, so, again, can you pull up the clip of Angel Fox?
Genetic aspect to this. Go ahead, man.
Can you pull up the clip or the at least the article of Angel Fox, who's a trans woman, male to female, that knocked the man out? I mean, knocked the female out, broke her face.
Yeah.
Women do not belong in men's sports. Point blank. Period. Like, there's no nuance to that. There's nothing to that. She over there doing that because she probably getting horny as shit. If we being honest, she's not gonna lay with you, but I will. Yeah, the females when they start acting tough, they want to jerk you off, bro. Like that's just real talk. There's no nuance in that neither. When she over there talking to him, she found that man attractive, and she wished that she could have saw him after the show to get banged out. Point blank. Period. When the females start acting tough, they haven't had no wee in a while, and that's just what they need. I mean, point blank. Period. It's science.
You see, the reality is, and this is the point that I think a lot of people is missing here in regards to this subject. What Enes Kanter did, it's not for his 5 minutes of fame. What Enes Kanter did, first of all, you look at his track record, he's a guy that stands on principle. He stands on BI. Look at what happened with the government where he's from. He stood on BI. He could have literally stopped what he was doing and continue to play basketball, but he said, you know what, I'm going to stand on BI. So we can't just say that he's not standing on BI here. He's doing it for his 5 minutes of fame. He could give a damn about that. What Enes Kanter did was hold the mirror to the WNBA when they came out with that nonsense that women could play, men could play in the sport and whatnot, transgender men. He held the mirror to the WNBA and said, you know what, this is how stupid you look. And sure enough, he was proven to be correct because they were scrambling, trying to call a meeting to define what a woman was. So literally his point was made. He held a mirror to the WNBA and say, look, this is how stupid you look. And for people to run out there and say, oh, he's trying to chase fame. No, y'all missing the point. The point is going way over your heads.
Way, bro, way over their heads. Because honestly, I'm thinking about doing the same exact thing he did. I'm not looking for fame. I'm just looking at it like, yo, y'all are fucking stupid, bro. To be honest with you, y'all are stupid. For y'all to be in a meeting for an hour and a half to define what a woman is, when you just open up the Webster's dictionary, his shirt actually says it's an adult female. That's what the Webster's dictionary defines a woman as. Womb. No man has a womb. Womb man. They don't.
And the
Why is this
fact
even a
that we have to
discussion?
define these things, I'm glad you're doing it though, because some people need to know the definition. They do.
They
They need
they
to.
they need to know, bro. If you want to be trans, like I said earlier, start a trans league. TNBA, men, women, or used to be men and used to be women. Y'all can team up and do whatever the fuck y'all want to do. Have fun.
Yep,
Have
the
balls and
NBA.
fucking slits that don't belong there. Have fun. Nobody's gonna bat an eye. No one cares. But when you try to come into a real sport, can Angel Reese say she's a man right now going in the NBA right now? Fuck no. No. So why should men, biological men, be allowed to go to a women's sports? So does that stop at boxing? Can Mike Tyson put on a wig and go into a women's sports and knock these hoes out? Come on
Exactly.
now. Where does it end? So the line needs to be. And I hate that we came to a point in society where we have to even have this discussion. And President Trump said something the other day, right? Yesterday, actually. Teachers, you're going to get charged with child abuse if you tell a child they're in the wrong body. Why the fuck? Why are people telling these children that they're in the wrong body, confusing these kids? Now
Yep.
they want to go into the WNBA with a man, pre-op or post-op.
Yeah, it
And let
starts
me
from
tell y'all
young.
one thing,
It
real
starts
quick.
from young.
Last thing, yeah, because they don't have a prefrontal cortex and their minds aren't
They
fully developed.
indoctrinate these children to believe that they can
Exactly.
be on the same plateau as a man. They can do anything a man can do. They want to. They push the idea of competing with a man, that the man is your worst enemy, and so they believe that they're on the same plateau. Even from the way how you look at the altercation, the woman charging. I mean, let's run the clip again. She's acting like a man here. This is a man, a woman, but acting like a man. This is man tendencies here. So that's the problem. And the fact that we have to sit here and define that, look, I would never go for this shit. I'm not doing it. Okay, we're not about to make Lil stupid. I don't care how dumbed down this world is. I would never be stupid just to fit in. The
Can I throw
reality
something in
is
real
we
quick?
know what a man is and we know what a woman is. Let's cut out the games. And if you want the WNBA, if you want the people like myself to take this sport seriously with all the talent that is in there, because they do have talent in the WNBA, but unfortunately, all this political stuff, the bed that they laid in and made, we're not going to take the sport seriously.
Let me throw
Especially
this
when
in
you
there.
cannot define what a woman is.
Let me throw this in there. Notice, and I said this earlier, notice she's emotionally reacting. He's just like this,
And he's smiling.
smiling.
Again, we go back to the
She's
emotion
emotionally
conversation.
reacting while he's over there like smiling. Women react off of emotion.
There we go.
So we have these emotional ass women playing NBA, WNBA, and then you
Look
have
at him smiling. Look at him
this man
smiling.
right here who
Like
don't
he's
give a shit
smiling.
about
He's
nothing.
smiling at this woman. He's not even like getting on. He's smiling at her. Look how stupid she is. That's what he's saying in his head. Like this woman
Yo, I
has
can't hear
nerve
you.
to stop her game to come and charge me. That's the look of stupidity right there. He's looking at her like she's stupid. I'm glad to get Lee back on. Lee,
Yeah,
I don't know what you just did, bro, but I can't hear you at all.
I wasn't going to miss this because I always like to. I love to debate anybody. It's about different perspectives. So I love this. I do.
I'm gonna let Price get back in here, but Lee, I'll let you give your final take on this, and then we'll let Price do the same.
It's for me, Lil, is all my personal opinion to the side. I have my own feelings about whether transgender males should be playing in female sports. But it's a bigger conversation. Certainly that's the core issue. But like I said, I don't want it to be so remote that we just focus on that. Enes Kanter is a clown. I don't respect what he did or how he's moving. So to me, he's a non-factor to me. I look at the bigger conversation. This guy's a clown.
He should have threw a dildo on the floor. Man.
And people that do that foolishness. See, that's what I'm saying. that doesn't do anything, right? To show how ignorant a person is, right? I don't move like that. That's not how I move. But
any man that think a man should be in a woman's sports is ignorant. There's no nuance. There shouldn't even be a discussion. It shouldn't be a discussion. You said it yourself. In high school, a boy should not play on a woman's team and vice versa. So what makes a difference for the adults? What's the difference? There's no difference.
High school sports and pro sports are totally different. I mean, there's levels to sports.
You start in high school though. You start in middle school and then work your way up.
There's levels to the athleticism it takes to play at different levels. So I
you chop your penis off by levels? Like what's going on?
Fair, these women can't even dunk.
You're trying to bring
these women can't even dunk.
Nah, men can't play in women's sports. Yo, listen, if that's the case, I'm trying out for the WNBA. I got a wig, I got a basketball. I'm trying to dunk, like I said earlier, I'm trying to dunk on injuries.
And I understand they progress from a skill standpoint, but they can't even dunk. So there's no conversation.
There are women all around the country that's dunking, Leo. There's women all around.
Not dunk on their ass. No,
I haven't seen one dunk yet in the WNBA.
I ain't even seen Angel Reese dunk.
Seattle Center has dunked twice in the game. You got to watch the game before you speak. But
let me how many dunks you seen, Lee?
In
you probably could count with one hand, right?
About 4 in game.
Yeah, you've been watching for a long time.
What difference does that make? What difference?
It makes a difference. Is my point. They should not be on the same floor as a man.
What difference does that make? That doesn't make that point doesn't make any sense because they can't dunk. It's a sport.
They get dunked on.
As a matter of fact, if you look at the skill level, athleticism, certainly the men are better, but the skill level, shooting free throws, handling the basketball overall, the women's game rivals the men, and really with free throw shooting and other things is better. But you have to watch it with a critical eye to understand that. I'm not on the surface type of guy. You know this about me, Lil. I watch sports with a critical eye. I'm not on the surface. It's easy to say a man shouldn't be in a female woman's sport. We know that.
Lee, it's logic. It's common sense. Sometimes you can't overthink common sense, Lee. That's what you're doing. You're overthinking common sense.
I don't know.
Me, LeBron, and Kyrie Irving are going to the WNBA, y'all. We trying out soon.
But
especially Kyrie Irving.
Let me ask you this. Why do you go to the extreme, though? You said LeBron and Kyrie Irving. Why do you go?
Don't forget me.
Oh, I'm not, bro. I don't know about that. Why do you go to the extreme? This is not about.
That's not the extreme. If LeBron and Kyrie Irving was to put on a wig, they should be able to be allowed. How is that the extreme? That's not the extreme. The extreme was any man that went to the WNBA. That was the extreme itself.
I'm not saying a man should be in the WNBA. What I'm saying is that what the WNBA failed to do was clarify what their bylaws and standings are for about who should be admitted into the league.
Well, have a coochie. It's that simple. Have a coochie.
Define what a man and a woman is, and you have your answers. You have your guidelines. It's as simple as that.
Yes, you do. Have a coochie. You go to the WNBA. Have a period.
And there you have it. Issue solved. They couldn't even do that, Lee. They couldn't even do that.
The NBA. If you guys, I want both of you guys to do some research for me. The NBA doesn't explicitly say that the people that play in the NBA are male or men or male. They don't say that.
It's common sense.
No, it's anybody can be drafted into the NBA if they're skilled enough. It's not common sense, and you don't make these decisions based off of common sense. You make it based off the bylaws of the league. That's what I'm trying to say.
Nobody makes stuff up. People don't even read the bylaws in their own homeowners association.
Right. You don't read the bylaws.
What a man is in the NBA is because we know what a man is in the NBA.
What is happening?
You don't read them, but the NBA personnel people do. That's what I'm saying.
And they know that, if you have a penis.
It's bigger than the people on the street that are just saying, if you have a penis or if you have a vagina. It's bigger than that.
Simple. That's why I say it's no nuance to this. It's that simple. If you have a penis, you go to the NBA. And if you have, then why is it a WNBA to begin with?
Honestly, what they need to start doing before they let anybody in the NBA and the WNBA is inspect their down low. Inspect it. Do you got to? Let me see that.
No,
Okay.
Lil,
All right, you
why
going
is
to
it
the
a W?
WNBA? Oh, you
By
got
his
this?
logic,
You going to
Lil,
the NBA? We going to have to stop doing that. Almost like
Lil,
it's
by his
jail.
logic,
Strip
why is
down
there a
naked.
WNBA to begin with?
Strip
Why is
down
there a
naked.
WNBA
And
to
let me
begin with?
inspect to see what you got down there. All right, and I'll tell you where to go.
Yeah, and if you bleed in beet juice, then you'll take your ass to the NBA.
You guys are funny. It's I mean, you guys
Ali,
are
we
funny.
get into this
I
point.
just want you to expand your horizons when you're talking about professional leagues.
That's
what
that's
this
how we
means.
gotta
not
do it.
expanding
If
Man.
you want to
nothing.
stay with the just
That will make me a liberal.
Nah,
you
nah,
expand
yeah,
too
exactly.
much.
No, it doesn't make you
Exactly.
it doesn't make you a liberal. It makes you an intellect when you
Hell
expand
nah.
your thinking.
Because once you expand it, then you realize this shit's stupid. You be like, man, I'm going back to where I was
See,
from.
this is
I'm
why
I'm going right
honestly,
back. What the
this
hell?
is why we
I
gotta blame. You know
expanded.
who we
Now
gotta
men
blame,
think
Chris?
they're women. I'm
Look,
going
bro,
back to where I
maybe
came
Price,
from.
you know who we
I'm
gotta
going
blame?
back to my roots.
I
You
don't
know
think
who we
that
Going
gotta
way.
back to
blame,
my
Chris? The
roots.
fact that we even having this conversation right now. I know you smart, Price. Who we gotta blame? There's one particular guy. He was a president. I'll give you a hint that we gotta blame for.
Obama.
There we go. See,
Look, and you didn't
smart
have to
man.
finish the sentence.
Smart man.
That in itself tells me all I need to know, right?
Smart man. He came over there and he passed all them laws.
Ah.
All them laws that he signed. Oh, I'm gonna do stuff for black people. Ooh.
Leo.
Okay.
Obama didn't pass anything.
Okay.
Congress did.
All them gay bills.
Obama don't pass laws. The president don't pass laws,
Obama was
right?
over there. Obama was over there dreaming about having sex with men. Man,
the
please, he
president
wrote
don't
it in his
pass-
journal.
The president doesn't pass
Obama
laws.
was gay as
The
hell.
Congress do.
All right.
The Congress do, right?
And he
Barack
let it
Obama
happen.
was gay as
He let it
hell.
happen.
The president doesn't pass laws. The Congress do, right?
And he let it happen.
We do know that, right? We know
And
that,
more
right?
got done under his watch. So
I
maybe
don't know
he
about
just
all
was a
that, but we
pawn.
gotta get
Maybe he just was a pawn for
again,
Congress.
we got to get the bare minimum
Know what I
straight,
mean?
right?
No. You're right. You're right. Congress does, and that's why he was a pawn.
Oh, he was a pawn. He was a gay pawn.
Sure.
Know what I mean?
Sure.
Bro, this man was fantasizing about having sex with men, bro.
Yeah.
He wrote it in his journal. You can look this up. Like, this is factual. He was
I
for the rainbow people, the Skittle community.
Maybe he should try to go play in the WNBA now. Imagine that Barack Obama entering the
trying to.
WNBA. Maybe.
Yeah, Barack Obama had a wicked jump shot. I give him that. He was trying out. He's trying to be the first Angel
He ain't
Reese.
joined already. I'm surprised he didn't inquire. You know.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
But anyway, yeah, we're gonna keep it real, Lee. That's what
You're not. Well, you're not. But Leo, you're not really. For me, you're not. For me, you're really not saying anything.
No, I mean, but you know,
that's for me. Now that's just my viewpoint. You ain't really saying anything for me. I mean,
we can end it off here.
But we can talk. We can talk.
But yeah, Price.
Hey, let's do this again. No, Leo, let's do this again. We got to do it again.
Run this back. We're gonna do it.
Yeah,
again.
we got to do a part 2, fam.
Nah, definitely, man. Feel free to plug yourself in. Me and Lee got a football topic we're gonna run at. So, Price, before you leave, feel free to plug yourself in. How can my listeners view your content, man?
Hey, yo, man, find me on Instagram and TikTok, and actually Facebook now. I am Price 1002. The man with the common sense, no nuances. Men shouldn't be women, and women shouldn't be men. We was born how God created us, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
And listen,
be good, brother.
Hey, likewise, bro. We're gonna do this again for sure.
Hey. All right, we're gonna move on to the next topic. Lee, Price.
I'll catch y'all later. I'm about to start a TMBA. I'm gonna go work on that right now. I'll catch y'all later.
Make me the commissioner. Anyway, we are gonna move on to the NFL as we had news that happened while all this confusion was going on in the WNBA. The NFL was getting to business. Okay, Deshaun Watson was named QB1 by Todd Monken. And the question that we have here right now is Todd Monken naming Deshaun Watson QB1 justifiable, despite all the backlash with the fans and Deshaun Watson in his press conference? Lee, is this move justifiable? The mic is yours.
Yeah. If he feels that Deshaun gives him the best opportunity to win, I personally don't think he does, and it'll be something that we'll evaluate over the first couple of games of the season. But if Monken thinks, and he's more in tune with what he wants from a quarterback than we are, we've only seen 2 preseason games, so we don't really know what Todd Monken is making his judgment on. He feels that Deshaun is more capable at this point, especially during the first 2 games of the season, which are on the road, at Jacksonville and Tampa Bay to give them the best opportunity to win. So personally, I don't agree with it, but it's not for me. As far as the press conference, Leo, the press conference and what he said, people make a big deal of it. I don't, because it doesn't matter. If Cleveland wins both games against Jacksonville and Tampa Bay, when he comes home for the third game, ain't nobody going to say shit, right? It's going to be business as usual, rooting for the Browns. Fans are fickle, just like people, right? Fans are fickle. It's very easy to sway their attention span because they get caught up in the wrong things. And so how Deshaun Watson plays the first two games will seal his fate as far as the starting quarterback. So to answer your question, is it justifiable? Absolutely.
All right, look, firstly, there's no reason whatsoever, and it's not clever, to justify playing Deshaun Watson, especially after that post-game conference.
Well,
now,
why?
To me, this wasn't about Deshaun Watson outplaying Shedeur, right? Because it wasn't. Based off of what we saw, at least with the highlights that I saw in camp all throughout, and the stats, right? We saw Watson with multiple interceptions. Shedeur may have had one or none, definitely had more efficient days than Deshaun Watson. Obviously, what we got to see
based off of what you saw from the reporters, which is, that's
and the stats, and that's one thing. Obviously, you factor in the games. Pretty much even. Watson won last week. Shedeur won this week. Cool. But to me, this was about the $46 million that they owed Deshaun Watson this year. And all this political stuff was amassed to justify it. Not to justify the start, but to justify the money. Now, let's not hide behind the fact that Watson had injuries. On the last show that we did, Lee took the cop out. Oh, Watson was hurt. Torn Achilles, shoulder, my back, my leg, injuries. Okay, let's not forget, statistically, when Deshaun Watson was on the field, not on the bench, but on the field, he was one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. Worst passer in every metric almost in the league. So we cannot hide behind these injuries. You cannot hide behind, the schedule. We play the Buccaneers, and then we play, I forgot what the other team is, Jacksonville. We can't hide behind that. All right, let's stop trying to create excuses here.
Let me ask you this.
Because at the end of the day, Shedeur is not a rookie. Shedeur is in his second year. So it's not like, we don't want to throw a rookie. No, he's not a rookie. All right, he's been with this team since last year. I know different system, but he's still not a rookie.
Well, you can't say that. He's been under this system for 6 months. And about last year. Last year was a totally different regime.
That's cool, but he's not a rookie. So at the end of the day, you go out there and you start him. Come on, stop trying to take this Patrick Mahomes approach. This Patrick Mahomes approach is flawed. If Patrick Mahomes started day one, he still would have been able to do exactly what he did because he had the team to do so.
He's not Patrick Mahomes. Look,
all right.
Leo,
hold up, Lee. Let me get through my take, and then I'll let you get back in here.
All right, gotcha.
Now, this is the problem, Lee. You have an old school coach. I firmly believe if Tom Monken was an old school coach, if he was this young, innovative offensive mind like LaFleur, like McDaniel, like Steichen, like Dave Canales, Shedeur would have started. No question about it. Dave Canales started Bryce right away. Shane Steichen started AR-15 right away. If this was a young offensive mind, new school, Shedeur would have got the start. But it's because you have the old school guy who's always stubborn in their ways. I mean, look at Mike Tomlin, for crying out loud. Instead of him adapt to the new modern NFL, he had to start to stick to his guns and retire instead of change and adapt. So one thing we know about these old school coaches is that they're stubborn. They stuck in their ways. They want to go with the guy with the more experience, the guy that can, be in the film room and do the little nuanced things, which, in some regards matter, but you can't just roll with that only, right?
That's why I'm playing quarterback.
That's the problem. They stuck to their ways. They want to go with the experience. So again, if this was a young, innovative coach, Shedeur, they would have said, you know what? I want to see what I have in a young guy. And it makes sense. It fits their timeline better. They have a young team. They traded away Myles Garrett. You're not trying to win. What the hell you need to see Deshaun Watson for? Again, other than to justify the money that you gave to him to begin with. So it's not anything success related. Oh, he gives us the best chance to win. No, it's to see if we can get whatever little bit of our money's worth is left. There's no other reason. He doesn't fit their timeline. They traded away Myles Garrett. They have a young team, one of the youngest teams in the NFL. Go out there with Shedeur and evaluate Shedeur, because the problem, Lee, and this is going over your head a little bit, and I'm going to end here and let you get right back in it, is that you want to see what you have in Shedeur. And another thing, too, the reason why Shedeur didn't get the start, and this is, I'm going to say this is where we split the bill a little bit here, is because they had 3 preseason games instead of 4. And obviously, you used 2 to judge, and there wasn't that crazy separation. So obviously, the third game and the final game, you want as a dress rehearsal more than anything else than evaluating. You want to go out there with the group that you're going to have week 1 and kind of see how everything happens, like a dress rehearsal or whatever. So that's the problem that also affected him in this process, is that they narrowed down that daggone preseason game or whatever. But with that being said, what, you're going to start him? When you're going to start him? All right, fine. Maybe week 3. All right, cool. But now he has to show you if that's when you start him. Let's say you start him week 5, week 6. How are you going to know in half a season if that's your guy for the future? Because you might have to get another quarterback. Lee, the mic is yours.
Yeah, sure. Leo, everything that you said is part of being a professional quarterback. I don't get. Look, I've been on record is saying that I would have started Shedeur. I would have made the commitment to Shedeur in OTAs so that he could get all of the reps through OTAs with the first team, all of the reps through organized mini camp, and then all the reps in training camp. I think he would be better off for it. However, this question is, was it justifiable? If Monken thinks that is, look, 2 years ago, under when Lamar Jackson had his MVP season, Todd Monken was his offensive coordinator. They had the best offense in the league. You're talking about Todd Monken like he doesn't know football. He's coached in college. He's coached in the pros.
Did Lamar Jackson win an MVP with Greg Roman?
He's won 2 MVPs. Coordinator. He's won 2 MVPs.
I know, but he
should have won 3
MVP.
And should have won. Well, put it this way.
As the coordinator, where's Greg Roman right now, Lee?
Greg Roman is with who's he with? He's with another team. He's
not. He was with the Chargers last year. Guess what? He's not on the Chargers no more.
Okay. So what's the point on that? That doesn't make it.
He might be your neighbor, Lee. He might be chilling right now, Lee. Go check on him. Go check on Greg Roman.
What I'm telling you is Todd Monken is a competent offensive mind. He did it in college. He did it in the pros. Look, the bottom line is, and everybody keeps saying money. It makes no sense, because whether Deshaun Watson plays or not, he gets the money. And so to try to recoup money, saying we're going to get something out of him, that's ridiculous. There's 17 NFL games, Leo.
So you're going to have somebody on your bench, right? If this was not about money, and obviously I'm looking at it from a football perspective, but if you factor in the money, you mean to tell me you're going to pay somebody $46 million to ride that bench?
If Deshaun Watson stinks up the first 2 games, he's going to sit for 15 games making $46 million.
Yeah, if you look terrible. Yeah.
I agree with that. So what's the difference?
The difference is this is the difference.
There's no difference.
Is that he didn't earn the start.
Of course he did. Based off of
that's the difference. Leo, he didn't earn the start.
The thing that kills me about fans in general.
What has Deshaun Watson did?
I don't know.
Prior to this season to earn the start.
We're not talking about prior to this season. We're talking about Todd Monken.
You had all these. How long has Deshaun Watson been on this team, Lee?
He's been on the team for what, 4 years?
You had 4 years.
How long has he?
No, you had 4 years to evaluate Deshaun Watson, Lee. You mean to tell me you can't tell if that's your guy or not in 4 years?
No. You have 1 year under Todd Monken. It's Todd Monken's job.
So then give Todd Monken the MVP then.
It's Todd Monken's job to evaluate his quarterbacks. What are you talking about?
Well, Todd Monken could call plays, but he can't go out there and deliver the throws.
But he knows,
and obviously
Todd
the problem
Monken gets to say who's going to be his quarterback, Leo. 3-4 years ago don't matter in this regard. It's about now under Todd Monken running his system, under his plays.
And you know what? I feel like Shedeur could thrive in Todd Monken's system because Todd Monken has this vertical.
I think he can too.
He got this vertical offense, and who we know could push the field better based off what we've seen. Shedeur Sanders has been pushing the ball better down the field than Deshaun Watson has. Whether it was in the preseason games that we saw
Leo,
or the highlights that we saw,
let me
he's
say
pushing the
this.
ball down the field. Now,
Let me
Lee,
say this.
let me make this last point,
Right.
and then I'll let you bring us home.
All
This is
right.
my last point here, because when you talk about what's justifiable or not, this is not justifiable. You know why it's not justifiable? Because the owner of this team came out last year, Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, and said out of his own mouth, and this is not something that I'm making up, Deshaun Watson's contract was a swing and miss.
Okay.
How do you justify throwing him out there week 1 when the owner said that it was a swing and miss, and the fans keep booing this guy, and he comes out on the post game and he gives this nonchalant, meltdown he has? All right. How could you justify it when the owner said that it was a flop? Cut your losses. Cut your losses. You got scammed, right? You first of all, you got burned because you got scammed, bro. $230 million fully guaranteed. You ain't that gonna make the playoffs.
Wait a minute. How did he get scammed? Look, he was an MVP talented quarterback. They signed him to the contract. That's not a scam. It hasn't worked out for various
What has
reasons,
Deshaun
but
Watson?
it's not a scam.
What has Deshaun Watson did, bro, since he been here? Has he even been on the field? That's a flop. That's a bust.
That's not the issue about him signing the contract, Leo. When he signed the contract, he was top 5 quarterback in the league. So he didn't scam anybody. He hasn't panned out. And as we look at it in hindsight, it's probably the worst contract in professional football.
Yeah,
the worst signing. But
that's why you cut your losses.
But Leo, of all the time you've seen preseason football is a mirage. Don't you know that? It's a mirage. People don't call plays.
It's a mirage.
It's a mirage.
Well, guess what? Was it a mirage when Russell Wilson beat out Flynn, who they gave money to?
How they called
and because of the preseason,
no.
He outplayed Flynn.
He outplayed him in the preseason.
Was that a mirage?
And in practice and in the joint practice. But let me say this, Leo. How coaches call games, you talk about throwing the ball down the field and the play calling in the preseason. Leo, that's a mirage. How you play in the preseason, that's really not real football. You do know that, right? That's not real football.
Clear.
That's not how you're going to play come September the 13th.
But it's used to evaluate if you are going to be the guy. That is a factor.
Evaluate in practice.
How many people use the preseason? If this was a mirage totally, then we wouldn't even need the preseason. We wouldn't even need it to decide who makes the roster or not.
You need the preseason to build out your roster, to build out your 53, to build out your other 16.
So it's legitimate.
But you don't. No, it's not. It's not legitimate when you talk about play calling and all of that. That's not legit. It's not real football. You do know that, right?
Listen, Deshaun Watson.
Most fans think it's real football, but it's not.
It's
not real football.
And his entire Cleveland career has missed the mark. And there's a reason why he's getting booed. It has nothing to do with morale. It has nothing to do with morale and the fact that he was messing with massage therapists and whatnot. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with his football play on the football field. It has been terrible up to this point.
It has to do with the contract.
You had 4 years to evaluate this guy. It has to do
with the contract coming in and his performance, Leo. They go hand in hand.
You have 4 years.
You can't separate the two. If both of them go hand in hand. But I state I'm a Shedeur Sanders guy. I think he should be. But I'm answering the question. Is he justified? If that's what he wants to do, hell, he is justified because he has more of the information that he wants to see, and it may be a method to his madness. So I say, if it's justifiable, yes. The press conference to me means nothing. The press conference has no weight. It carries no weight. It pissed some fans off. Those same fans are going to do whatever they do anyway. But if I was a coach, I'm not basing my decisions off of what fans want or what fans do.
It's a combination of both.
Who all you want
on the field? On the field, obviously, those comments definitely, rub people off the wrong way. That's not a leader. Obviously, they got the PR and try to apologize and all that. No. It's evident that they should have cut their losses, in my opinion. You have Shedeur Sanders on the roster. See what this guy got. That's it. Go out there, see what he got. Throw them out there. Let's stop protecting these quarterbacks and all that, and thinking that we got the next Mahomes and we could shelf this dude. I don't even know if they believe in Shador as their guy, which is fine. Which is fine. That's why you go out there and you see.
But
because
you have 17 games, Leo. 17 games.
Last question. And this is my last question.
To evaluate Shador Sanders and Deshaun Watson.
This is my last question.
Shador's going to play this year.
This is my last question. How many years do Deshaun Watson has left on his contract?
None. This is last year.
This is his last year.
Yeah.
Why are we playing Deshaun Watson?
Because
do you think what he did in those 4 years is enough to say, you know what, I'm going to extend him beyond this year? Because I would say no.
Well, we're not talking about what he did the last 4 years.
No, because it's a factor.
We start
having conversations about extensions when you are playing well beyond the time you're eligible for it. That's where those conversations come up. We start talking about extensions beyond just that year. I mean, you know how negotiations go.
Yeah, but
years before your contract ends. So if we are talking about beyond this year, has he done anything up to this point that warrants you to see what he has this year so you can give him an extension next year? Let him go. Like, it's not happening. You want to know what you got in Shador, because Shador is a guy that you took, may not have take with a high pick. And again, maybe they're looking at draft value and whatnot. But this is a guy that last year he was a fourth quarterback, barely made your team, and all of a sudden he's a second and he's competing for the job. Then clearly he has made strides. See Absolutely. What he has.
How many games do you think Shador is going to play?
You took Dylan Gabriel over this guy. Where's Dylan Gabriel at in the picture? Nowhere to be found.
How many games do you think Shador is going to play for the Browns this year?
After they see what happens, it depends.
How many games? Well, give me your opinion.
I think they're going 2. We should see him in game 3, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, how many games do you think how many games do you think Shador is going to play for the Browns?
Probably from week 6 on.
Why would they wait till week 6?
Because they're the Browns.
To me, I wouldn't have done this. I would have started Shador, as I've said, but I think Monken thinks that the operation is better with Watson for some reason. Getting the plays in and out is better. He thinks the whole operation, when he says give them a better chance to win, I don't think he's talking about throwing the ball down the field, because I think it's totality of the offensive operation. Now, again, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think he says that, especially because you're playing on the road. He wants to see it, because let me say this, Leo. What we have to look at with Todd Monken is there have been a lot of coaches that have been one-and-done coaches and fired after the first year. He has to win football games, and he has to win football games this year. They're not vested in it.
To make Deshaun Watson the fall guy to protect your job.
You're not gonna make Deshaun Watson a fall guy.
It's easy to do that.
He has a short. Deshaun has a short lease. Look, if the Browns don't offensively play well the first 2 games, Deshaun won't be there. He won't be in the game. Shador be in there. Again, I wouldn't do it because I think when you're playing football, every game matters. I wouldn't have done it, but that's what they're doing.
Last point, Lee, and we're going to end off this show because I am tired. You don't agree with my point, because I made a very good point. I know I cooked up there, but you just ignored it. You come at my other points, but you ain't came at this one. So I'm assuming that you may agree with me. If Tom Monken was not an old school coach, and he was one of these young Dave Canales, Shane Steichens, all these young coaches that are offensive minded coaches that like their quarterbacks, that Shador Sanders would have started week 1.
Shane Steichen is playing Daniel Jones. That's enough. That part that rules him out right now.
Yeah, because Anthony Richardson, when he stared him,
that rules him out right there. The bottom line is he's an old school. I think Monken has always been a quarterback whisperer. He was that at Georgia.
Yeah, but he's an old school guy.
I just think.
So you don't agree with my point?
I don't agree with it. No, I don't.
I mean, well, fair. That's fair, but I firmly believe that, because young, innovative minds, they like to see what they got in their quarterbacks early. They're young quarterbacks.
Well, that's why young, innovative minds get fired very quickly, because they have young, innovative mind that don't understand the totality of it. It's hit or miss there. I'm answering the question, Leo. I'm not saying what I would have done, but is him naming it justified? I just think it is. I just think
beyond the money, because the money, obviously, if it was that self-explanatory, then we could say from a money perspective it was. But obviously, we're not talking about money. This question is more of a football-related question. Is it justifiable from a football standpoint? And it's not. Financially, clearly, it was a financially driven decision, an experience-driven decision. He just had more football years, and he makes obviously all this money. So it wasn't a lot of separation. I'm just going to rock with him. And that's where an old school coach will do something like that. Remember, with Mike Tomlin, when you had who was a quarterback before Aaron Rodgers? It's slipping my head.
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph, and then was another Mitch Trubisky, for example. Prime example. Mitch Trubisky was in a battle with Kenny Pickett and another quarterback, and he went with the guy because he was a veteran, and he looked horrible in the preseason. Kenny Pickett looked better than him, and then he waited in the middle of the season to start Kenny Pickett, and they won a couple games there towards the end. That's because old school guys go with the guys that got the veteran experience, but that doesn't always mean it's going to work out.
Yeah, and it doesn't work out the other way. You just quoted Anthony Richardson. He started him. He clearly wasn't ready, but they tried to start him, and he had only 15 starts in college, and they tried to start him at Indianapolis. It didn't work out. So
but Shedeur played a lot of football in college. He played on the team last year. Different system, I get it, but he played on this team last year. So it's not like a significant, other than the system itself, it's not a big learning curve as far as how to be a pro. You should know that by now, your second year in the league. You have your father who played in this league. He knows how to be the ultimate professional. So, why not? But, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Deshaun Watson makes it past September as a starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, or if we see Shedeur Sanders at some point.
I hope we see Shedeur, because
ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up another explosive episode of the Real Lil Show. I'm glad we was able to get this debate in tonight. And Lee, as always, man, feel free to plug yourself in.
After the Buzzer Sports Podcast, holla at your boy every Sunday, 6:30 p.m.
Definitely. I'm glad to put on an entertaining show. Had a long day, Kenny. Know what I mean? So I'm about to hit the sack harder than when Raven was black. All right, we're going to leave it like that. And Lee, per usual, thank you for coming on. And until the next time.
All right.
Peace.
Sports, politics, conspiracy theories. We are here to give you our unique perspectives on things happening in the world. It's the one and only, The Real Lil, on The Real Lil Show.